When Mercury, the planet of communication, intellect, and commerce, takes up residence in the second house of the natal chart, the mind becomes a precision tool for navigating the material world. Traditionally known as the house of values and possessions, the second house governs not just what we own, but how we view our self-worth and how we generate resources. With Mercury here, the native's mental energy is directed toward the tangible, the practical, and the profitable. The mental architect of wealth. For a person with Mercury in the second house, money on the mind isn't just a cliché, it is a fundamental cognitive orientation. This placement suggests an individual who thinks deeply and frequently about financial security and resource management. They don't just want to be wealthy, they want to understand the mechanics of wealth. This often manifests as a talent for budgeting, accounting, or strategic investing. The intellect is grounded, preferring facts, figures, and concrete results over abstract theories. There is a distinct versatility in how these individuals earn a living. Because Mercury is the messenger, they often find success in fields involving writing, teaching, sales, or any profession where the primary commodity is information. They possess the ability to talk their way into a paycheck, using their wit and verbal dexterity to negotiate better deals or market their skills effectively. Communication as a value system. In the second house, Mercury influences the very way a person speaks. The voice is often a primary asset. Whether it's a melodic tone, a persuasive cadence, or a sharp, analytical delivery, their speech carries a weight that others perceive as valuable. They tend to be cautious with their words, viewing communication as a transaction. They want to ensure that what they say has a high return on investment. Furthermore, their sense of self-worth is often intrinsically tied to their intellectual output. If they feel mentally sharp and articulate, they feel confident and secure. Conversely, a period of mental stagnation can lead to a dip in self-esteem. They value people who are clever, resourceful, and articulate, often seeking out social circles that provide intellectual stimulation that can be converted into practical gain. The restless resource. Mercury is inherently restless and fast-moving. When placed in the stable, Earth-associated second house, ruled traditionally by Taurus, a unique tension arises. The native may experience mercurial fluctuations in their finances, periods of rapid gain followed by sudden shifts. They might have multiple streams of income or several side hustles going at once, as the mercurial mind thrives on variety. The danger here lies in over-rationalizing one's values. These individuals might try to use logic to solve emotional problems or attempt to calculate their worth based solely on their bank balance. There is a risk of becoming too preoccupied with the price of everything and the value of nothing, as Oscar Wilde once noted. They may also struggle with nervous anxiety regarding their security, overthinking their financial future to the point of exhaustion. Intellectual property and tangible ideas. Ultimately, Mercury in the second house is the signature of someone who can turn an idea into an object. They are the intellectual craftsmen of the zodiac. While others might dream of art, the second house Mercury individual thinks about the logistics of the gallery, the cost of the canvas, and the most effective way to describe the work to a buyer. They possess a common sense that is anything but common. By combining a quick wit with a focus on longevity and stability, they learn to navigate the physical world with agility. For them, the mind is the greatest asset in their portfolio, and when they learn to trust their analytical instincts, they find that their ideas are, quite literally, worth their weight in gold. When Mercury resides in the second house, the sign it occupies dictates the style and rhythm of your financial logic and how you verbalize your values. Aries, you are a financial trailblazer. You make quick, impulsive decisions with money and likely possess a pioneer mindset, earning through fast-paced or competitive environments. Taurus, this is a very grounded placement. You think slowly and deliberately about wealth, valuing stability above all else. Your voice might be particularly pleasant or have a physical presence. Gemini, you likely have multiple streams of income. You are incredibly clever with trade and commerce, though you might struggle with financial consistency due to a jack-of-all-trades approach. Cancer, your financial decisions are deeply tied to your emotions and family. You may spend money on the home or nest egg for security, and you have a memory for prices and values like no other. Leo, you talk about your resources with pride and authority. You are likely to invest in high-quality, luxury items that reflect your status, and you may earn money through creative or leadership roles. Virgo, the ultimate accountant. You are meticulous with every cent, often analyzing your budget to a fault. You find value in being useful and likely earn through technical or service-oriented skills. Libra, you view money as a means to create beauty and harmony. You are a natural negotiator who understands the fair market value of things and may earn through partnerships or artistic endeavors. Scorpio, you are secretive and strategic about your assets. You have an investigative mind for finance, often looking for deep value opportunities or hidden resources that others overlook. Sagittarius, you have a gambler's intellect regarding wealth, often looking at the big picture rather than the fine print. You find value in experiences, travel, and wisdom over physical trinkets. Capricorn, you have a very serious, long-term approach to wealth. You view your intellect as a ladder to social status and are willing to work methodically for decades to achieve financial mastery. Aquarius, your approach to money is unconventional or even radical. You might earn through technology, social causes, or fringe industries, and you value intellectual freedom over material hoarding. Pisces, your financial logic can be a bit foggy or intuitive. You might struggle with the hard math of budgeting, but you have a psychic-like ability to feel out opportunities or earn through spiritual and creative paths. When Mercury transits your natal second house, the messenger of the gods walks through your personal vault. This transit occurs roughly once a year, more if Mercury retrogrades in this area, and marks a high-activity period for your finances, your sense of value, and your material security. It is a time when the abstract ideas in your head seek a practical, bottom-line application. The audit of the mind. The primary theme of this transit is mental inventory. During the few weeks Mercury spends here, your focus shifts toward the tangible. You may find yourself obsessively checking bank statements, updating spreadsheets, or reorganizing your physical space. This is not just about greed, it is about clarity. Mercury wants to know exactly where you stand. It provides the analytical sharpness needed to spot a leak in your budget or to find a more efficient way to manage your daily resources. Your communication style during this period becomes more pragmatic and goal-oriented. Conversations often revolve around the cost of things, not just in a monetary sense, but in terms of time and energy. You are less likely to entertain idle gossip and more likely to engage in negotiations, contract discussions, or debates about what is truly worth it. Commerce and negotiation. Mercury is the patron of merchants, and when it hits the second house, your inner salesperson wakes up. This is an excellent window for negotiating raises or fees. You are better equipped to articulate your value in facts and figures. Buying and selling, your eye for a bargain is heightened, and you're more likely to find a clever deal. Monetizing skills, you might suddenly see how a hobby or a piece of knowledge can be turned into a side hustle. However, because Mercury is fast-moving, there is a tendency toward frivolous spending on gadgets. You might be tempted to buy items that promise to make your life more efficient, new phones, software, or tools, only to realize later that the purchase was more of a mental whim than a material necessity. The challenge, the retrograde shadow. If Mercury retrogrades while in your second house, the energy shifts from earning to reevaluating. This can be a frustrating period where checks are delayed, bank errors occur, or a piece of technology you rely on for work breaks down. The spiritual purpose of a second house retrograde is to force you to look at hidden values. You might realize that you have been overvaluing something that doesn't serve you, or undervaluing a talent you've ignored. It is a period for rebudgeting your life, not just your wallet, but your self-esteem. It's the universe's way of asking, do you actually value yourself, or just the things you can buy? The takeaway. A Mercury transit through the second house is your annual financial physical. Use this time to sign the papers, crunch the numbers, and speak your worth. When you align your intellect with your assets, you move from merely having resources to truly mastering them. Subscribe, like, and share.